Hello 8th grade. Today we're going to be working on lesson 57. It's all about changing the row height and vertical alignment of a cell. We'll also be formatting tables using borders and shading. So row height is the vertical amount of space in a row. Row height adjusts automatically to allow room for text in larger font sizes. Row heights also can be set to a certain measurement. The height for a row 1 in the table shown in figure 710 is set to 0.5 inches. Rows 2 through 5 are set to 0.3 inches. In previous lessons, you learned how to change the horizontal alignment of text in a cell. You can also change the vertical alignment in a cell. The text may be aligned at the top, center, or bottom of a cell using the options in the alignment group on the Table Tools Layout tab. You can apply both vertical and horizontal alignments at the same time. For example, you can align text at the bottom and right side of a cell using Align Bottom Right. By default, text is placed in the upper left of a cell using the Align Top Left alignment. The text in the table shown in figure 710 is set to align center left. In this lesson, you will learn to set row heights to exact measurements and align text in cells vertically. We're going to go ahead and open up out of our data files. So keyboarding 8, data files, lesson 57A, table 1. Okay. Alright, it says to change the row height or row 1 height. So we're going to select row 1 and follow the row height path at the left. So we're going to go to Table Tools Layout. In the cell size group, we're going to choose Table Row Height, which is right here. And we're going to key in 0.5 inches in the height box and then hit enter. Alright, and then it says to change the text alignment, select the cells in row 1 and follow the alignment path at the left to display the alignment options. So in the Table Tools Layout tab, we're going to choose Alignment, and we're going to click on the one that says Align Center, which is the one in the middle. Alright, so now it says using the process you used in step 2, set the height for rows 2 through 6 to 0.3 inches. So we're going to select rows 2 through 6 like this, and we're going to set the row height to 0.3 inches. Okay. And then it says set the vertical alignment for all cells to align left center. So left center should be right here. And then it tells us to save the document as 57A Table 1. Alright, Table 2. So we're going to go ahead next and open up 57A Table 2. I'm going to go ahead and close Table 1 here. Okay. It says to change the height of row 1 to 0.7 inches. So here's row 1. I'm going to select row 1. Layout. We're going to change it to 0.7 inches, which is pretty big. Okay, and then it says to change the height of row 2 to 0.5 inches. Okay, and then it tells us to change the remaining height of the remaining rows to 0.3 inches. So I'm going to click and drag to select the remaining rows, and we'll change the rest of them to 0.3. Okay, it says change the alignment for all rows to align center. So I'm going to select the whole table by clicking the Select All button, and we'll choose Align Center. It then tells us to save the document as 57B Table 2. Chapter 7, 57B Table 2. Alright, so next we're going to be working on borders and shading. So borders are the printed lines around cells in a table. Borders can enhance the appearance of a table and make it easier to read. By default, tables are printed with a black 0.5 inch or 0.5 point solid line border around all cells. You can change the color, thickness, and style of the border. You can choose to have the border around all cells in the table or around selected cells. You also can choose to print the table without any borders. Shading is a colored fill or background that can be applied to cells in a table. Shading also can enhance the appearance of your table and make it easy to read. You can use varying shades of gray or color for shading cells. Shading covers the selected area. It may be applied to the entire table or only to selected columns. So you can shade, usually it's this paint bucket looking button. We have the standard colors down here, so typically if it tells you to choose red, you're going to choose the red from standard colors. Green, standard colors right here. These are theme colors and they're usually named differently. So we're going to be working on changing our borders and shading. It tells us to open 57A Table 2 that we saved earlier. So we'll go to 57A. So make sure you have opened 57A Table 2, your Word document. It says select the table. So I'm going to click on this table selector button. To format the table without borders, use the path to the left. So we'll go to Table Tools, Design tab. In the Borders group, we'll click the Borders button, and we'll choose No Border from the list as shown. Okay, so then we have these grid lines, but if you were to print this, those dotted lines wouldn't appear. Okay, the table should now appear without borders. However, the table grid lines may be displayed. The light gray grid lines that appear on the screen will not print. If the grid lines are displayed, click a cell in the table and then click Table Tools Layout tab if necessary. In the Tables group, click View Grid Lines. If you want to hide the grid lines on the screen, click View. If you want to see them, click it to turn it back on. It then says to save this document as, here, and I'm going to move that over here. We're going to save the document, File, Save As, in our Keyboarding 8 folder under Chapter 7 as a 57B Table 1. Okay. Save. We'll click Replace. Alright. Next it says to add a border around the table or the main heading, select row 1 of the table. Okay. Choose outside borders option. Okay, row 1 should now have a border around it. To add shading to row 1, follow the path to the left. So on Table Tools Design tab, we're going to click on the Shading Options button, and we're going to select a light color from the theme colors or standard colors that you like. So maybe I'll choose yellow, and it says row 1 should be shaded. Tells us to save the document as in our chapter 7 folder as 57B table 2. Okay, save. Yes, we'll replace that. Okay. Print, but do not close it. We're not going to print, it says, so just make sure you have it saved. And experiment with applying borders and shading to the other cells, rows, and columns in the table. So, you know, you can kind of play around with your borders a little bit. You know, maybe if you want to play around with it, you could. Like, you can choose a fancier one if you want. Borders and shading. Or you can just do simple, like a dotted line. Okay. Play around with doing some different shadings. Alright. And then it says close the table without saving it. Don't save. Alright, and looks like lesson 57 is done.